The last half of the season was very unexpected. So, what happened? To start from the beginning, let's go back to April 8th. After a midweek appearance, which you guys saw at the end of the last episode, I was just training, doing my normal week-to-week adjustments, trying to make sure that my rhythm and tempo and everything in my delivery felt smooth. I wasn't doing anything too extraneous, and I was just throwing light plyos and gearing up for my start the very next day. I'll admit, going into this start, I didn't really feel 100%, and I just thought that was due to fatigue, aches and pains, from the long season that we've had prior to this game. But all in all, everything kind of just didn't feel 100%, but at the same time too, I wasn't that concerned that I didn't feel 100%. I thought it was normal. So early on in this game, I did get a lot of weak contact. I got some flyouts. The worst part of this outing came when I got 2 outs and I had maybe a couple runners on, but I walked a kid and then I was again behind once again, but I yanked a fastball, felt something kind of tug in my shoulder, and I thought I was like, oh, I'll be able to pitch through this. But then the next pitch, I threw another fastball and kind of felt a separation type of feeling within my shoulder joint. I was really, really concerned about this, and I felt this little bit of this jolt of pain. So I kind of waved over my coach, and I was taken out of the game medically. Needless to say, my mental state was not in a great place. I was really down on myself, and I kind of thought that a lot of things were going wrong, and it wasn't a good time whatsoever. Mentally, I felt terrible. Physically, I felt terrible. And I just kind of felt like a lot of things were just kind of going out the door and a lot of things were ending. I truly thought my season was over.
It's not how I wanted things to end there in that outing, but it's how life goes, and that's fortunately part of baseball. Getting hurt's part of baseball, so I have to see the sports medicine doctor next Wednesday, and then after that, it's pretty uncertain what's going to happen. With my injury coming this late in the year, I could be out the rest of the year. After I mentally kind of rested a little bit and physically rested a little bit, I knew that I had to focus on getting back to 100% if that meant finishing out the season, and hopefully this injury wasn't as bad as it kind of felt. To get back to 100%, I needed to rest. And for me, resting is pretty difficult. I constantly like to be working on things. I constantly like to be getting better. I don't like to just kind of sit around and wait. After taking literally a week off from everything, baseball activity, no throwing, no lifting, nothing, no physical exercise, just literally resting, doing a little bit of rehab, and just trying to get my body back to 100%. I was still feeling a lot of aches and pains in my shoulder and in my arm altogether. And within a week, I was just trying to really focus on being as rested and get better as possible. After about a week, I was feeling much better than the week prior. I had a scheduled visit with a sports medicine doctor, and I went to go talk to him about what my shoulder injury could be. We did some work with the chiropractor, and he was there, did an assessment, and nothing looks to be too badly damaged. I have a little bit of loss of mobility and some range of motion, but they gave me some exercises to work on it, and he said I can ramp back up and hopefully get in some games here down the stretch. He officially diagnosed me with rotator cuff tendonitis. In short, rotator cuff tendonitis is when the tendons and the muscles around the shoulder joint become inflamed, and mostly from doing things overhead, such as overhead lifting, overhead throwing, being a pitcher. This was something that I was a little bit frustrated with, but the doctor said at the same time, depending on how you're feeling, you can resume baseball activity. I wanted to get back to 100% and get back to the season. So I rushed back a little bit. I wanted to do everything that I could to get back to the season and to get back to my teammates.
at a really pivotal moment. At this moment in time, we were in the midst of a playoff hunt and trying to get a playoff berth. It was really big, and I was so determined to get back and just try and be there for my teammates and be there for the team as a whole. Over Easter break, I started to just do a lot more rehab. I tried to throw a little bit. I slowly tried to ramp up my workload so that I could hit the ground running when I was cleared the very next week.
So now that we are allowed to work back into baseball things, we need to make sure that we're ramping up. We need to make sure that our body is obviously feeling ready to perform whatever task that we end up doing. You know, being hurt has kind of shown me a lot of different things. I need to make sure that I have better routines during the season. I think that was part of the reason why that my injury happened in the first place. But also too, you know, I mean, I didn't know how some of the parts of the human body worked until I, you know, went and had this this doctor's appointment. So that's good. But today we're just gonna keep it light.
Now this is Monday, April 21st, and I was officially cleared to get back to baseball practice with my teammates, with my entire team as a whole. And so the training staff cleared me, and I was really, really excited to be back. For the most part, everything felt okay. I still had the same kind of minor ailments, just aches and pains in my shoulder and arm. Throwing was still a little bit rough, but I was still able to kind of progressively get out to 90 feet, 120 feet. When I got cleared by our team training staff, I was really excited to come back. The only condition on my clearance was that I was only allowed to come back in short relief, 1 to 2 innings, and on a pitch count. Once we knew that I was cleared to come back for an inning or two and on a pitch count, 2 days later, I was thrown into a game. My first appearance back was against the number 25th ranked Division III college team in the country, and needless to say, things did not go well. My stuff was okay for the most part. My curveball and fastball command were there at times. I was a little inconsistent in the beginning, but as I started to settle in, my velo was starting to come back, and I was actually starting to kind of hit my spots a little better. When you're playing a ranked team, there's little room for error. The times where I did get behind or I did make mistakes, I had to pay for them. And so that led to a couple extra base hits.
I don't even know what to say honestly about today. It's stupid. I mean, I'm really pissed off right now, as you guys can kind of see, and I just feel like today my college baseball program failed me. I really tried to do the best I could with the situation I was given. I really did. And I was hit all over the ballpark, and today I sucked. I sucked. I mean, I sucked. I sucked, and it wasn't fun, and it sucks. And it's just miserable. It's terrible. I'm not 100%. I'm definitely not 100%. And I'm trying to do everything I can for my teammates. It just sucks. And quite frankly, I don't know what they expect. I'm trying my best here.
I was pretty upset with my performance after this game, and I quite frankly didn't feel like I was put in a position to succeed. That was I think one of the more frustrating aspects of it for me. This was the first time I had thrown off a mound since coming back from injury. I just didn't feel like I was prepared, but at the same time too, that's just the situation. I can't control most of those things. Those aren't my decisions, so we shouldn't spend a whole lot of time talking about them. The day after I pitched, I was pretty sore, especially within my scapula and my upper back and just my arm overall. I was really, really sore. But because of our poor pitching performance as a whole on our team, we had a lot of conditioning to do the next day. At this point, I was in a huge recovery deficit, and that was something I was going to have to take a little bit more extra time to focus on throughout the next week and the week after. I knew kind of after these moments that I wasn't going to be available for my senior day games, and that was pretty rough mentally to deal with. I wanted to pitch in front of my mom and my family and my loved ones one more time, just kind of in my college career. Despite how I was feeling in this moment and in this game physically, I was really thankful and just grateful. And I spent some opportunities and some times during this game and this day to just reflect really on all the development and the things that have happened over the last 4 years in college.
He is joined by his mother, Marie Heidemann. Over his time in Steubenville, he has pitched in 91.2 innings of work over 33 pitching appearances. His 49 strikeouts are sixth most in program history. In 2024, he threw a complete game shutout at La Roche, where he scattered 4 hits and walked none, and that is his favorite baseball memory at Franciscan.
After senior day, I was really determined to get one more college appearance. I just wanted one more college appearance to show what I was capable of and really end my college career on a high note. So I spent the majority of this previous week rehabbing, recovering, trying to get back to any resemblance of 100% in where I was at. And I just wanted to do everything I possibly could to take the mound one last time. At the end of the week, we had 2 last conference games, and I knew that I would potentially be getting an opportunity to pitch in one of them. And so in the first game, I came in, and here's what happened. This was by far probably one of the weirdest college outings I've ever had, and it was not how I envisioned ending my college career. I came into the game with runners on first and third. We're down by 1 run. We had 1 out. And my job, obviously, try and get a double play here, try and get a ground ball, get us out of the inning, and hopefully our offense would come and pick up the bats and get us some run support. I came into the game, and on the very first pitch, I spiked the ball in front of home plate on a fastball, and it got by the catcher, and the guy on third scored. So now we're down 2-0. I'm still obviously facing the guy at the plate. I ended up getting behind in the count, and the guy at the plate hits a solid ground ball to our shortstop. So I face the next guy, and I think on either the first or the second pitch, the guy hits a pretty deep fly ball into left center. And unfortunately, my left fielder or my center fielder couldn't quite make a play on it, and the guy resulted in getting a triple. I was pretty perplexed. I was like, I don't understand why we didn't make a play on it, but all in all, it happened. I couldn't control that. My coach walks out over onto the mound. I give him the ball. He says, "Great effort," and I walk off the field. As I walked back to the dugout, I just kind of felt kind of empty. I didn't really know what to think. I didn't even know what to really say. I mean, that was my last ever college outing. It's not how I wanted things to end by any stretch of the imagination, but it happened. Unfortunately, there were some things that were not within my control that I just kind of had to let happen. I tried to do everything I could to rehab, recover, and get back for this last outing. I tried to give everything I could to be the best version of myself and the best player I could be. And unfortunately, things didn't work out. And that was one of the hardest life lessons that I kind of had to learn through this entire experience of being hurt and trying to get back from that, is no matter how much work and how much effort that you put into coming back from something or doing something, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a successful result. And that was pretty hard to grasp here. Everything about the last 3.5 weeks just was brutal, unfortunate, and this was not, again, how I wanted my college career to end. But at the same time too, I'm really thankful for all the life lessons, the adversity, the challenges, everything that happened, because without that, I don't become a better person. I don't become a better human being. And those are some of the things I really am trying to focus on, just the life lessons and the positive things, because those will ultimately make me a better human being and a better player. Again, grateful for everything at Franciscan I've learned in the last 4 years, developing as a player, getting the opportunity to go from a catcher to a pitcher. I don't think if I do that, I don't think I get on the field in the first place. You're probably wondering, what's next for you, Andrew? What's next for Heidi Throws? What's next for this YouTube channel? And what's next for your career? Well, stay tuned.